Have you smiled today? Because if not, here's your smile. Scooby, 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 Scooby-Doo. Scooby, 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 Scooby-Doo. Scooby, 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 Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo, Scooby, Scooby, Scooby-Doo. What's up, what's up, what's up, my fellow creators? Welcome, guys. I hope you're having a beautifully blessed day. And welcome to another video of Topics with Becky, right? Okay, if you guys are clicking on this, yes, I have a towel on my head because I took a shower, washed my dreads, and I have to dry them. And it takes a little while to dry them, and I just wanted to get these videos done. So, I'm all blue. I'm all blue. Alright, so I don't care, guys. Just coming up, showing up as my own self, doing what I do, right? It's like showing up in a bathrobe. Who cares? I'm here. I'm on these videos. It don't matter. So, Topics with Becky. I want to talk to you guys a little bit more about narcissists, because I think that this topic is, there are some people that are talking about it that have never even known a narcissist in their life, and there are other people who just want it to come from this energy of always blaming the narcissist. And if you guys have seen my video on forgiving the narcissist, or if you haven't, definitely check that video out. It's worth a listen. And yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys, like, I know I lived with a narcissist my life. I got involved with narcissists. It's like something that was a comfort zone for me. And I want to talk about the addictive part of it. Because I don't think people think that you can be addicted to people. I think they always think it's a substance. Right? It's some kind of substance that you have to be addicted to, that you have to be constantly inviting into your life. And it doesn't have to be a substance. It doesn't have to be anything. It could really be a person and a way of being treated and a way of life. Right? If you think about people who have to have money, aren't they addicted to money? Right? And so I bring this in because when you get involved with a narcissist, oftentimes they stroke your ego in such a way that you need that. Like, you need that for validation. You need that for confirmation that you're even worthy of being here, that you have a space on this earth, that you belong. And for so long, what happened, especially in my late relationship, is that he was really good at stroking my ego in a way that would always make me come back and do what it is that he wanted me to do. And it was really hard for me when I left. It was really hard. I ran, and the reason I ran is because I knew if I had told him I was leaving, he would have done everything to get me to stay. And I wasn't strong enough. I wasn't strong enough to tell him and go through what it was that I knew he was going to do to get me to stay. I wasn't strong enough. It was like a drug. It was like a drug, listening to his sweet nothings, listening to him validate me, listening to him build me up so he could later break me down. So I knew when I had to leave like a thief in the night. And I did just that. While he was at work, I packed up the car and I left. I only had what would fit in the car. And the hardest part for me was probably the first month. I felt freer when I left. Like, I felt like a new person when I left. I felt like I had an opportunity to build a life again. But that first month, every day, I had to tell myself not to call him. I had to tell myself not to text him. I had to tell myself not to contact him in one way, shape, or form. I had to convince myself to wait one more day. It's what I would tell myself in the morning. It would be like, I'd hear my ego. You need to call him so that you could get some information from him. You need to call him so that you can have this. You need to call him so that you can do this. You need to call him so that you can go here. You need to call him so that we can do that. And I would tell myself, you need to wait one more day. One more day. And so this became the habit with me for a whole month. It was one more day. One more day. One more day. And it was so difficult for me. It was like purging, right? Going through withdrawals. I didn't have that validation. I didn't have that energy constantly coddling me. And I didn't have that energy breaking me down. It was like I was addicted to the whole thing. I was addicted to the highs and the lows. And to convince myself of otherwise, it was just one of the most difficult things that I ever had to go through, because I had to really deal with the darkness inside of my soul. It meant I had to really observe where I was as a person and why it was that I needed somebody else to validate my existence so I felt like I belonged. And the things that started coming out were very, very disturbing for me. And I realized that I just continued to move from one validating relationship to another because I needed people to need me, because I didn't know how to need myself. I didn't know how to want myself. I didn't know how to love myself. And it was in the act of practicing self-love that gave me the courage to walk away from this situation. It was. But at the end of the day, it was something that I had to really believe that I could get over. Because if I just sat there continuing to relive the situation over and over again, I was going to keep going back. And part of us getting involved with a narcissist, if you've been in a relationship with a narcissist, part of it is the grounding aspect of being sexually physical with them. It connects us back to our root chakra. It's one of the quickest ways to connect with the root chakra, and it allows us an opportunity to be grounded again, only for a short time. And it's not real grounding. It's not real grounding. It's us running away from trying to be grounded with nature and with source and with ourselves, being centered in ourselves. And I didn't have that. I hadn't had that for a while. I chose to go celibate even after I broke up with him. I had to live with him for a full year after I'd broken up with him and sleep in the same bed. And everybody's like, oh no, you guys are sleeping together. And I was like, no, we're not. I can't sacrifice my health anymore. I couldn't sacrifice my well-being. I had to start somewhere, and the only way that I could start was to be celibate and choose to be celibate. And it was the hardest thing I'd ever done, because I was addicted to everything about him. His sex, his words, his sweet nothings, his lies, his promises, whatever they were. Nothing was stable for me, and it was like I was addicted to being unstable because I wasn't stable within myself. And I think that anybody's gone through this. You've been through the ups and downs, the gaslighting, and then only to be broken down. You've been going through the highs and the lows, and it's like, why can't I leave a narcissist? It's because you're so addicted to that energy. And so when we're in a time frame when people are trying to convince others of these titles for soulmates, and that in this having this title, you're supposed to go through these incredible lows and these incredible highs, that sounds like an addiction to me, and there is obsession that follows that. Rather, is this just Source finding a creative way to really point out how imbalanced we are as a people? Because so many people are getting involved with narcissists and allowing these narcissists to treat them certain ways, thinking that they honor and hold this title. If somebody honored and hold a title like that, in reality, I don't think they would treat you that way. I think it would be more of you having this ease in your relationships and having this ease in what it is around you, rather than dealing with people who don't want to love you. You are trying to put people into a box because you're trying to put yourself into a box. You're trying to say that this is the title that I have to have in order to have a relationship, and you don't have to have that. And so when I bring up the truth in a narcissist and living with a narcissist, you have to understand that sometimes we will put ourselves through dirt and grime just to prove to our ego, or prove our ego right, rather than listening to our heart. And when I started this journey, I remember coming across a video that talked about opening up your third eye. And it said, don't do this if you're afraid of getting the information that the person that you're with is the wrong person that you're with. Okay, and I did not watch that video for weeks. I didn't watch that video for weeks. I saved it because I knew I needed to watch it, but I didn't watch it for weeks because I was so afraid that it was going to tell me and my ego that I was wrong. And what ended up happening is, after I watched this video, I really started to get back into the spirituality of things, and realizing that I was with somebody that wasn't serving me. I was with somebody that was treating me like I was garbage, worse than garbage, because they needed my energy, and they needed what it was that I was bringing to them, and they needed my validation, because they couldn't validate themselves, because a narcissist is usually somebody who hates themselves a lot. They hate themselves so very much, and they can't cultivate their own energy and their own light and their own love. And so they have to drain that from somebody else, which is why you hear of empaths getting involved with narcissists a lot. An empath is somebody who loves to give. They love to help others feel better. They love to help others become strong in themselves, and yet they have a hard time cultivating that energy for themselves, because that's what validates them, is giving that to somebody else. And that's what, as being an empath, I have to talk about this subject, because I think that it needs to be brought to somebody's attention. Whether that's one person or whether that's a million people, it doesn't matter. If it helps somebody along the way to understand that you have a choice in all of this, and that you don't have to put up with somebody else's bullshit. You don't have to put up with somebody else's energy like that. If they're treating you like crap, and you really believe that they hold a title, this soulmate title in your life, okay? Are you really that low about yourself that you have to stay in that situation being treated like that just to have this title? Because to me, I would rather be single and not have it than to have it and be miserable. You know, you can fight for it all you want, but really at the end of the day, people are feeding this obsession of titles in life, because nobody wants to honor that we have to find ourselves, you know. And I have another video that talks about twin flames. And really the truth is if you guys are on this spiritual journey, if you are serious about the spiritual journey, and I say serious because there are a lot of people who claim the title spirituality, and they're not really doing anything to grow. And to grow means that in a year from now, you're not the same person you were a year ago, doing the same things. And so if you're obsessing over somebody, in a year that should change. Okay, in a year, you should see a noticeable difference. You should see a noticeable change in yourself, in your self-worth. But if you don't see a change in your self-worth, and you're still so obsessed with this person, you can't get them out of your head, and you're still willing to put up with them treating you like you're a piece of dirt, are you really taking the spiritual journey seriously? And this is just an honest question. Because I believed, and I've said this before, I believed that this narcissist that I was with was my true twin flame, was my true soulmate, was the one I was meant to be with, because of the physical connection that we had. Physical. We didn't have an emotional connection. We didn't have a mental connection. We didn't share stories like you're supposed to share stories. We didn't share emotions like you're supposed to share emotions. In fact, whenever I was hurt, I would have to go and cry by myself, because I knew if I cried in front of him, he would make fun of me, and he would make me feel even worse. And so it turned into this game. It was like cat and mouse. It was like, oh, I'm going to hurt you because I want you to go away from me, because I don't want to deal with you. And the only times that he would show emotions towards me is when he wanted something, and he knew he could get it through manipulating my emotional side, because I'm a very emotional person. I am what somebody would say sensitive. Being sensitive is not a bad thing. Okay, being sensitive just means that you're in touch with your feelings, and you're not afraid to be in touch with them. But I was so afraid to experience my emotions with him, because what's going to be wrong? That was always the question that I asked myself. What's going to go wrong today? What am I going to do wrong today? How am I going to make him upset today? And there's many, many stories I can share on this. And as we move forward, I will bring examples as to this. But I want to bring this situation up because we don't talk about the addiction. And I think that that's the thing that was so hard for me. It's like, even though I had these questions, I woke up with these questions every day in my mind, to actually leave the situation and not have that in my life anymore. It was like I was walking away from a drug. I was shaking. I was miserable. Healing. I didn't want to face myself, because being with him meant I didn't have to face myself. It meant that I could find a way for him to manipulate me some more, so it would just draw me further away from that need to deal with myself. So I encourage you, if you're in a relationship with a narcissist, ask yourself why you're not willing to deal with yourself and face yourself. And if you're really truly trying to put this title on someone and they're treating you in this way, Are you willing to walk away for your own sake, for your own safety, and for your own well-being? Or are you so concerned about making sure that you have this title when not too many other people do, that you're going to let yourself go through high hell and high waters, no matter what it takes, just to prove to the outside world that you fit into this rare situation? I don't think it's as rare as everybody says it is. I think what's rare is the fact that people actually learn how to love themselves and find the truth of the situation. That's what I think is rare. So to heal yourself and to take this spiritual journey seriously, it means that you really have to do the shadow work. It means not just saying it, but doing it. It means that you have to really fall in love with yourself so that you can see yourself through eyes of unconditional love and seeing that no matter what, you do no wrong. What does that mean? If you guys really want an example, then go check out some of my videos where I'm singing. I explain in them. It makes me smile. It's not about being perfect. It's not about proving to somebody that I'm here to be a professional, because I'm not. I want to teach people. I really want to teach people. I love to teach people, but I'm not going to shy away from the other things that I love or from sharing the things that I love just because I'm afraid somebody's going to judge me. That's feeding my ego. That's feeding my ego the need to be approved. I sing because it makes me happy. And because I'm free. And because I don't have to sit here and ask for your approval to be a certain way. But when you're with a narcissist, you need approval constantly and you need to be validated in your existence. And I know because I lived that for a long, long time. I lived as a people pleaser for so much of my life. I ruined a piece of myself that I had to go and dig deep to find. And that was scary. It was unfortunate and it was true. So are you willing to overcome this need to be with a narcissist? Are you willing to overcome this need to fill this label in your life? Are you willing to overcome yourself and to deal with the truth of yourself so that you can find out who you really are? This is what I have for you guys today. Please like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel, set that notification bell down below so you always know when the next video does go live. And until we meet each other again, go forth boldly, my fellow creators, and courageously find creative ways to rise above in life, laughter, and love. Becky is out of the house for now, but until we meet each other again, peace out. I love y'all. Bye. Do you know what blue represents? Blue represents the lollipop gang. No, not really. It's actually about truth. Finding your truth. I think that's why I like blue so much, because this has been a journey about me locating my truth in life. La 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 la. Mwah, mwah. And may I present to you the uniqueness of whatever it is that Becky wants to do, and that is to enjoy the life that she has been given, because it is only one life and you never know what it is that might come from it if you choose to live. So live, and give.